Growing up, when I was younger, I never saw myself getting into racing. It was just a man-dominated sport, and there wasn't ever too many girls in the sport. It wasn't until my older sister Ashley hopped into the Super Comp car and then moved up to the A-Field car, and now she's racing her funny car, that I kind of saw those doors open and kind of discovered that, girls can do this. I mean, yeah, it's male dominated, but girls can drive race cars and be good at it.
I really, at first, didn't even think about wanting to become a driver. I wanted to be a crew member. And I really think it goes back to, as a kid, how Dad was about his team. It was like, well, Dad drives the car, but the crew, I mean, they do magic. They put these cars together, and these cars go so fast, and the cars can explode, and they can put them back together in a short amount of time and get them back on the track.
It wasn't until I saw her do that and, watched her go through all the steps to get where she is today that I thought, maybe this is something I want to do. So I got licensed in a Super Comp car at age 16, and Courtney did shortly after. And we raced in Super Comp and moved up to A-Field, and I really love it. And it's funny because I never saw myself going in that direction. And I really don't think I would have unless Ashley jumped into the car first to open those doors.
We all love drag racing, and we've grown up in it as a family, and it's kind of become our family sport, family tradition. So it's just something that we all get to do together, and it's always a lot of fun.
For that 10th championship in 2004, to put the icing on the cake, is we won the final race, the Auto Club World Finals, NHRA World Finals, right there at the Speedway in Pomona. I won it in Fuel Funny Car, and once again, history made. Ashley Force won it, father and daughter. She won it in A-Field Dragster. Okay, I was crying again in the press room, but it was awesome to stand there with my baby girl. And now she's just a little woman, doing what she does best. Racing.
In A-Field Dragster, my best racing moment would have to be winning the 50th MACTOOL US Nationals. It was my first national event win, and we won it at the biggest event of the year in Indy. So that one will always forever be on top. And then, of course, Pomona 2004, winning the final race of the year, the World Finals, winning the race, and then they had Pro Stock run, and then they had Dad run in the final, and he won the race. So we doubled up. It was the first father-daughter to win a national event, and that was really fun. Those were my great A-Fuel moments. And as far as funny car, we've had so many great moments.
It took me 10, 12, 13 years to win Indy. And here we were, Ashley in the final. I'm sick on the starting line that she ain't gonna win this race. A girl can't win these races in this big old nitromethane, big old long dragster, a mile long. And she went out there, and I ran in front of her. You're gonna be okay. And she said, Dad, you're the only one again, falling apart. And she went on to win the race. And everyone said, where's Dad in winner's circle? He was crying behind the bleachers, because when it comes to your children, they are everything. And that was quite a moment. And then she came back later and she won Indy in a funny car.
Obviously, you need to know the basics of racing, but the Super Comp car really taught me about knowing your boundaries and, not getting in over your head, that you can get so far out of the groove, but there are walls and things that you can run into. And it was good to learn in that car and not try to learn in a 330 mile an hour car. And some people jump right in. Robert did. He jumped right into a funny car and he did really good. But for me, it was definitely a better path to start in Super Comp, especially since I was just learning how to drive a normal car. I started in Super Comp, and 5 years later, I moved my way up and eventually moved into funny car.
When Ashley moved up to the funny car class in 2007, that really was a turning point for John and the Next Generation Initiative. Because then we were developing not only new drivers, we developed Eric, we developed Robert, now we're going to develop Ashley, but we had to develop new crew chiefs too to service those teams that they were driving for. So we had Dean Antonelli, we had Ron Douglas, we've got people backing up Jimmy Prock on the one car, and young crew guys learning all aspects of how to prepare these cars, because John has instilled in all these people the belief that we're going to do this for another 25 years. This is what we do, and we're going to do it better than anybody else.
This is one team with 4 cars. You know, our goal is to advance as many rounds with any of the John Forrest cars as is humanly possible. We all share in the money. We all share in the bonus. No matter which car wins, each person's bonus is the same thing. So we are very motivated to work as one. And, you know, whether it's, you know, lane conditions, you know, we have 4 or 5 people out on the track, you know, that are constantly feeding back to all of us. Somebody may have just run the lane, and they always run back to the computer as fast as humanly possible if they can give you a more accurate synopsis of what took place before you run. We all do that to try to help our fellow racers, and sometimes it's, you know, it ends up being quite a plus. You know, it's a real good thing when a guy in front of you runs and he's got enough time to get back and say, the bump at 300 feet was worse than I thought, be careful out there. Well, then, you know, you can go to the box and make a few changes and hopefully get over that bump a little better, you know. And it's something that some of the other teams are starting to do, that they're pooling their resources and learning to work together. But we have always been that way. We have always been one team with 1 car, then with 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars. Who knows where it's going to end, but that's the concept, that, you know, everybody has to be working for the common goal.
One of the strong points of our team has been the ability of our key personnel to work together closely and share information, and we have a close bond. We all like each other and socialize, and it's really just something that I think very few of the multi-car teams have been able to achieve.
When I first started here, it was a little overwhelming, actually. I had come from single-car teams, and to be a part of a 4-car operation with the amount of employees and the amount of sheer chaos going on at all times was really something. It was quite an experience, and I felt like I contributed and fit in right away because there are such good people here to work with.